for it.
Well, she needs blaming, especially since she didn't show up today.
Well,
No, I know. I'm sure she had good reason.
She requested today off. She was moving her daughter out of the house. She's like, I need a day off to move my daughter out.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I'll give her a pass. I sometimes want to move my 9-year-old out of the house. She's getting too crafty for me.
Yeah. Well, let's give everybody a minute to log on, because this is going to be one for the books, Kevin. One for the books.
Yes, it is.
This is probably going to be one of those nights where people get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
Well, you know what, though? It needs to be said. We need to talk about it. And honestly, I'm tired of all of these articles coming out saying that we're changing, we're abortion's now illegal, so that our answer to that is putting babies in boxes.
Dude, where have they been for the past 6 years?
I'm 5 years. I gotta tell you, I'm over that. Diana is in the house. Good evening, Diana.
Good evening, Diana. Are you ready for some hellacious banter tonight?
You're not going to want to miss this one. Monica's on a roll.
And they act like you've just come out of the woodwork all of a sudden or something like that. I tell you what.
Tara Hote is in the house. Well, and that's the thing, is people are like, boxes? What? All right, we got some people on now. So all right, so Kevin, let me get your name up there. I don't know why I forgot to stick your name up there by your face. There you go.
Honestly, by now, if they don't know who we are, well.
True story. True story. All right. Let's talk abortion. Let's talk abortion. Let's talk safe haven. This is going to upset some people tonight. Yeah, yes. So, it's going to be a tough one to talk about, and it's going to make some people uncomfortable. But you know what? Christ did not put us on this earth to make us comfortable. He put us here to make us uncomfortable and to be faithful to what he's called us to do. So, abortion, safe haven. An article came out, was it last week or the week before? I think the New York Times article.
The New York Times article, I believe, came out last week.
Okay. So the New York Times article came out, and basically the headline was, "Conservatives' answer to abortion: put your baby in a box."
That was
like, what? Like, well, and you know what really, in the article, I'm going to say the article was not written that bad. Okay. So the article wasn't written that bad. However, it made it sound like we just started building boxes in May of this year, or June or July, whenever abortion, whenever Roe v. Wade was overturned, we just started building boxes and sticking them in fire stations because that's our answer to abortion. And it's like, where the hell have you been? We've been doing this for years, and this has nothing to do with abortion.
I mean, it doesn't even matter what our stance is. As an organization, our mission is to end infant and newborn abandonment, and to help mothers in crisis after the pregnancy is typically over with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to kind of to sit back on you for just a second of what you just said, I think I got a Bella hair in my mouth. Damn dog. So just to kind of, so the New York Times article came out. When they contacted us, they were like, "Hey, we want to highlight what you're doing." Great. So then they're like, hey, do you guys have a fire station that we can talk to about this? Sure. I gave him Carmel Fire Department. John Moriarty, America's favorite fire chief. He's the best person to put in the news for something like this. And then they said, okay, do you have a parent that has one of your baby box babies? Sure. You want to talk to them too? So baby Nola. So baby Nola's parents were gracious enough to do this article. And they still made it look like conservatives or people who are working on the bot. And what does conservatives have anything to do with baby box? I mean, I have a
Why
stand.
can't it just be that a whole bunch of people are tired of seeing babies thrown in dumpsters? I mean, let's look at New Mexico, one of the most, if not the most, pro-abortion state in the U.S. And what did we just see in January?
A baby being thrown in a dumpster. That's what we just seen in January. Well, and people bring that up all the time. They're like, oh, you're going to get busier now that abortion's outlawed. And I'm like, how do you know this? How do you know this? You can speculate this, but we've never had a time in our history when abortion was basically the law of the land, and safe haven was part of it. So we've never had a time when abortion was not here, but safe haven was here. We've never had that. So how can anyone say they know what's going to happen? They don't.
Well, and here's another thing. Our stats, even before June or the end of June when this came out, showed that there were abandonments, newborn deaths, non-stop. I mean, if you were to see our entire abandonment list for the past 5 years alone, this is 5 years from 2017 to right now. I mean, it would shock you.
It really would. I don't think people truly understand how many babies are abandoned in our country. And right now, the focus is just on the abortion rates or the abortion rights for women. And it's like, they're coming at us going, your boxes, are the answer to abortion. No, they're not. The safe haven baby boxes and the safe haven law has never been an alternative to abortion, ever. It has never been an alternative to abortion, nor do we ever promote it as that. What we promote it as is an alternative to a dumpster or a trash can. That's what the alternative is. And I'm tired of people saying that we are putting these boxes in because abortion is now illegal. If people would have been here, if people would have been here 5 years ago, 5 years ago when we were busting our ass to try and keep babies out of dumpsters, not even looking at the abortion laws in this country. Do I have a stance? Yes. Do you have a stance? Yes. Does everybody on this thread have a stance? Yes. We all have a stance. But it
up
has
until
nothing to do
June,
with a baby in a dumpster.
okay, let me say up until this year, it has never been an issue. It has never been an issue, or hardly. I doubt it's even been mentioned in one of your interviews.
No, and okay, so that brings up a good point. So we shared the Australian interview that I had. And so just so y'all know, this is what we've been dealing with for the last few weeks, ever since this New York Times article came out. And it's really trying to turn people to make it look like we're just now putting boxes out as an alternative to abortion. And then and if you've followed us for long enough, you know that's not the case. But this Australian company, now I try to do as many interviews as I can because it's education. It is awareness, and I'm not just talking about the baby box. I'm talking about the safe haven law, and so we got this email from this organization or this ABC News network out of Australia, and they wanted to highlight the great work that Safe Haven Baby Boxes is doing in the States. And so I did two blessings, two. And on my way home, I had to pull over. I had got up. I had left the house at 5 o'clock in the morning. This was what, 6:30 at night, Kevin? I was still on the road heading back, and I had to pull over to do this article or to do this interview.
Yeah.
And so, I really try to do as many interviews as I can because of the education and awareness. Now, Australia has had a couple abandonments in the last couple of years, and they have looked at safe haven laws. I'm going to say for the last 5 years. They even tried to pass a law, and their government shot it down.
We have
And
had a ton of people from Australia over the past several years on our page.
yeah, we have. Well, and so this organization, this ABC whatever out of Australia, contacted us and said, "Hey, we'd like to highlight what you're doing. Can Monica Kelsey come on a live interview?" Okay. Most of the interviews you see me on are not live. Okay. So when someone tells me that it is a live interview, you better have your ducks in a row, because you cannot mess this up. You have to have your stats right. You have to talk precisely on what trying to get out what you're wanting to say. She didn't even get the first question out of her mouth, and I knew it as soon as she said that. The first question, I knew that this was not going to go well for me, but I graciously continued on and stood my ground. Now, did I want to talk about abortion in America? No, I did not. That was not my intent on that interview that night. That night, I wanted to talk about all the great things that the safe haven law in America has done for this country.
Well, credit to you. I mean, you were doing everything you could to steer the topic back into safe haven baby boxes and the safe haven law. You were doing what you could, and it was obvious that this reporter, this interviewer, this anchor, whatever you want to call her, uh, I honestly have not seen anything more unprofessional before from an international radio host.
Well, and the fact that her producer called me afterwards and apologized and told me she went off script. And let's just point this out. Kevin. I'll bet you $100 she did not read my bio before she interviewed me, because and you know what? The one thing that pissed me off about this interview, and anybody that's on here that wants to listen to the interview that we're discussing right now, it's what, 2 days ago or 3 days ago we posted, or yesterday. I don't know, a couple days ago. Within the last couple of days, we posted the interview. And you guys can watch it and listen in horror as this lady just tried to steer me into an abortion debate. But the one part that made me really, really mad, and I wanted to fight back, I did, but I held myself because I knew we were live and I didn't want to make myself look like an ass. But the part where she said, because I told her about my biological mother who was brutally attacked and raped and left along the side of the road. Do you remember what words she used after I had said that?
I'm trying to remember exactly, but it was the typical response, and I honestly I don't know how you kept your cool on it.
She said, "That's a horrible thing that happened to that woman."
Yeah.
That woman. That pissed me off, Kevin. That really made me mad, because I'm like, that woman was a hero. Yeah, and she was my biological mother, and here you're sitting here saying that woman. And then when I told her that, because she's like, "Really? Do you think that, it's kind of disgusting," or I don't even know the words, but it's kind of disgusting that you guys are putting boxes in for women to place their babies in. Don't you think that's a little bit over the top? No, I don't.
As opposed to, oh, dear God, babies being found decayed in suitcases, babies being found thrown in dumpsters, babies being eaten alive by ants. Would we rather have that?
No,
Sorry.
no, we wouldn't. But she clearly didn't read my bio before she interviewed me, which should be journalism 101.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no
Regardless.
journalist. I'm no journalist, but if I'm doing an interview with somebody, I'm going to know who they are.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I mean, we're pretty clear on we do not make this an abortion debate at all. This is not about abortion. Safe haven is not an alternative to abortion. Safe haven is a last resort option for parents who exhausted every other option on the books. That's what safe haven baby boxes is, and that's what the safe haven law was designed for. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like you know, when she started bringing in, and I get a lot of it. I get a lot of people that try to bring me into the abortion debate right now because it's news, it's controversy. People want a story, and so you know, I'll do the interviews, but I say the same thing over and over. No one knows what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. You know, it's we've never had a time where we haven't had abortion, but we've had the safe haven law. So are we going to get busier? No one knows that answer. You know, I hope that women get help, you know, prior to, which is what we were saying 5 years ago. Before they get to the box, we hope they get help. We want them to choose an adoption plan or a parenting plan or not the box. But we know that if that box is not there, that we're going to continue to find babies in dumpsters across this country, and that's unacceptable in 2022.
Yeah.
And so when you make it about abortion, when you make it about abortion, it totally throws what we're doing to keep babies out of dumpsters under the bus. Because we've been fighting hard to keep babies out of dumpsters. We don't fight at abortion facilities. We don't stand at abortion facilities. You know, am I pro-life? Yes, I am pro-life. I mean, look at my story. Who wouldn't be pro-life if they had the same story as me? Well, I mean, there probably is some. I guess I shouldn't have said that, but do I throw that in your face? No. You know, it's because the work that I'm doing doesn't need to be parallel to abortion.
No, it
And
shouldn't be.
it just it really 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 upsets me when people bring us into that argument. You know, Kevin, you and I have been in this arena for you've been in at least for 5 years. I've been in for almost 10. And we've done a hell of a job. We've
I
done
would
a hell of
say, I mean, I'm amazed every single day. I mean, just in this last year alone.
we've done an amazing job. And we should be graded on what we've been doing the last 10 years versus what we've been doing the last 2 months. You know,
Yeah.
anyways, don't get me on my abortion kick. We knew this was going to be we knew that this was going to be one that was going to be a little controversial, but you know, I mean, if you guys have some thoughts on this, you know, send us a message, type it in the comments. Diana says over the top, seriously, and dumpsters are okay. Seems that women had not much empathy whatsoever. True. Jesse Shepard from Missouri House District 114 says, I'd like to have both access to safe legal abortion and safe haven baby boxes. Diana says, you know what is great? The story of safe haven baby boxes is nothing but love and hope. What a wonderful story to have. Thank you. And Kim says, shouldn't compare. End of story. Agreed. You know,
I agree.
we shouldn't be comparing the two. You know, and if people are upset that abortion has been taken off the table, then take it to the legislators that are changing the laws in the states. Don't bring it to a ministry out of Woodburn, Indiana, that's putting boxes in to keep babies out of dumpsters.
I mean, I think we've been very clear about what our mission is and what our goal is, and it's never wavered, and we have no plans on changing it. we're focused on what we need to be doing, and we're going to continue down the road.
Well, and let's just say this. Everyone's on a side. Everyone is
Yep.
on one side or the other, but we can still be friends.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm often quoted as saying this. I learned so much from people who are against me, my critics. I hate to give credit to some of these people, over the years that have criticized us, but they've actually helped us. This situation out of Union Township in Ohio, this guy that is literally just, he's insane.
Yeah,
We've actually we've actually learned something from him, and it's going to be fixed. And so those are the people that we could learn so much from, not arguing with them, not trying to up one on them or have more to say or be smarter than that. It's like, let's just listen to each other, and maybe we'll learn something, maybe we'll learn something.
I agree.
So, well, Kevin, it's 21 minutes that we've been on. I know it always feels like 45. Oh, you know what? I was going to tell you one more thing. I was going to tell you one more thing too. So when I was being interviewed, and I might have already told you this, but when I was being interviewed for the New York Times article, the journalist starts bringing in and I hate this. They call me an activist against abortion. I'm not out there standing at abortion facilities. It's like, no, where did you get that from? But anyways, so this New York Times journalist said, something about my stance on abortion. And I said, well, my stance on abortion has nothing to do with safe haven baby boxes. And she says, well, you're pro-life. She said something about being pro-life. And I said, if you already knew that, then why did you ask me? I'm not going to comment any further. We don't need to be divided. We need to come together and help these women and these kids, and let them choose a good option for themselves. But I don't know. If somebody else writes an article that says Safe Haven Baby Boxes is putting boxes in because it's an alternative to abortion, I'm going to freaking lose my crap.
Well, now you have another interview tomorrow too, so
And a speaking event.
And a speaking event, yeah.
So I'll be on the road tomorrow. I'll be on the road on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I'm back at the shop. So we got 5 boxes shipping out this week. 5.
And we've got some more blessings next week.
Yes. Troy, Ohio, it was going to be blessed next Friday, the 26th. Anybody that's near Troy, Ohio, we'd love to see you there. And I can't even remember the other one.
Mishawaka.
Mishawaka will be in Mishawaka on Monday. Kim, I kicked Bella out tonight and told her that I would come get her when I was done because she kept biting my arm and wasn't letting me get online. So yeah, I post if you guys follow me on TikTok, you'll see that I was eating a steak and she's like sitting like right below me because she knows I'll feed her. Poor Bella. Oh, we got Kiki from North Carolina. Welcome. Well, you're scooting in at the end here, Kiki. Next time, come in at 8.
Well, North Carolina should be seeing a box before too long.
Actually, North Carolina, we are working. I was talking with the alarm company today. So we're having a little bit of trouble getting some of the parts in for the alarm system there. So it is taking a little bit longer, North Carolina, but the box is in. It is in the wall. We'll tell you all about it once we have confirmation that it passes all its inspections and its testing. So nice. Until then, we won't. But anyway, so any parting... Kevin, I need a nap. Any parting words from you?
I think tonight I'll just end with this. At the end of the day, we all need to just come together, regardless of what our beliefs are, regardless of what our grievances are. Yes, we can disagree on stances. You know, we can have our own beliefs, but at the end of the day, we should be able to come together and just talk to each other instead of try to bash each other at the end. That's all I've got.
That's very well said, Kevin. Very well said. All right. You guys heard it here first. Safe haven, abortion, two things that don't have anything to do with each other. So,
Yep.
anyways, God bless you guys. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Next Monday, just so y'all know, next Monday we're gonna have a special treat for you. You don't want to miss next Monday. It's gonna be pretty awesome. So, all right, guys. God bless you. We'll see you next time on Beyond the Box with Kevin and Monica.
Good night, guys.